Hi, it's Rabbi Andy from Temple Emmanuel in Greensboro, North Carolina, and I'm here on day 21. This is our 21st installment this year of the Pearls of Elul, and I'm talking about modern examples of teshuvah. And there could be many different stories that I could choose from. I've spoken about a few people that have a bit of a bigger profile, and I'm going to mention someone's name. Who it may be that you've never heard of this person before. And I'm sitting here with a book. I think that he had visited Greensboro many years ago. This book came out in 2007. It's by Brad Hirschfield, and the book is called You Don't Have to Be Wrong for Me to Be Right. The subtitle being Finding Faith Without Fanaticism. And Brad Hirschfield should know. His profile in his life when he was younger, he used to live in one of the hot spots of the world in the city of Hebron, which is on the West Bank, what some refer to as Judea and Samaria. And he was one of the people that I guess nowadays we would call them among the more radical of those Jewish people who live on the West Bank, more radical of the settlers. And he does a significant change in his life because radicalism had been fanaticism had been a part of his life. And since that time, he changed. He walked away from that particular way of understanding the world and began to embrace a more expansive, a more, how would you say, accepting attitude of others. Now, he documents that in this book here, You Don't Have to Be Wrong for Me to Be Right, which is not a bad, how would you say, it's not a bad motto for our times. Very often we think that it's that things are one way or the other way. We think about things in terms of a binary. And I think that what he comes up with in his writing, he talks about, look, I don't need to knock someone down in order for me to feel bigger. But instead talks about ways that religion in particular needs to be a vehicle for us to have better understanding of one another. And I just really think that speaks to not just his time and his experience, right, using himself as a model as he writes this book, but also something that can be helpful for us many decades later at a time where things really seem so charged and it's either right or wrong, good or evil. And I think we know that our world is made up of so many more nuances. And that in fact, for us to go forward, we're going to need to understand that not only about ourselves, but also about others. So Brad Hirschfield, maybe you want to come on in and borrow this book at some time. Maybe you can find it somewhere, in a library near you, or even just look him up on the internet and read a little bit more about his profile, understanding that he was heading down the wrong path, that's his own words, that he made a change, and then began to dedicate his life to teaching in a different way, not walking away from Judaism or from some central commitments, but instead opening up a new commitment, a commitment to understanding, to working together with others, to having a more expansive view of the world. Now, let me know what you think of this. Maybe you want to share your own story about how you did that in your life. I hope that, again, this is a helpful reflection as we make our way towards the new year 5786. We'll see you soon.